Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and wondered if your golden years might not be as peaceful and rewarding as you hoped? Are you worried that moving into a nursing home could leave you feeling lonely, abandoned, or afraid you'll lose every bit of independence you worked so hard to maintain? My name is Martha. I'm 77 years old, and I've been asking myself these questions ever since my closest friend Agnes moved into a well-known nursing home a few years back. At first, I thought it was the perfect solution: round-the-clock care, new friendships, recreational activities. But after witnessing some of the heartache she went through, it made me realize that behind the pristine lobbies, cheerful brochures, and carefully curated social events, there can be hidden dangers that slowly erode your happiness. Today, I'm here to share Agnes's experience and my own, in the hope that you'll be better informed before deciding if a nursing home is the right choice. Let's tackle each danger one by one. Stick around, because I promise you'll discover insights that could protect your emotional well-being, your finances, and even your cherished family bonds. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more conversations about aging with dignity. Now, let's uncover the first hidden danger. The very first danger, and perhaps the one that took Agnes by surprise the most, was the gradual loss of independence. Nobody told her that even simple decisions like what to eat for breakfast or when to go outside for a short walk could be regulated by scheduled routines. Sure, there's a certain comfort in having set meal times and structured medication schedules, but when that structure becomes too rigid, it can feel like you've lost control of your own life. I remember her voice trembling during a phone call when she said, "Martha, I can't even choose when I want to get up in the morning anymore. If I don't follow their schedule, I get frowned upon, or worse, I miss out on some of the services I need." That loss of autonomy can be deeply unsettling, especially when you've spent decades making your own decisions. When I was younger, folks used to tell me, age is just a number. It was often attributed to people like Mark Twain, who famously said, "Age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter." But let me tell you, there's something about your 70s and 80s that makes you cling fiercely to your independence, because it's one of the last pieces of dignity you feel you can truly call your own. What's the problem here? If a nursing home enforces rigid meal times and bedtime routines, you might find yourself living on someone else's clock. Once that happens, a subtle fear creeps in, a fear that you're no longer in charge of your life. And it isn't just about schedules. Some places have strict rules about personal belongings, visiting hours, and how you can spend time in communal areas. At first, these might seem like small sacrifices for the sake of convenience, but over the long term, that convenience can morph into a sense of captivity, leaving you feeling powerless. What's the consequence if this problem gets worse? If you lose independence bit by bit, you might start to feel resentment toward the staff or the facility as a whole. That resentment can bubble up and affect your mental health, triggering anxiety or even depression. It might also create conflict with the caregivers who genuinely mean well but are bound by institutional rules. Before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of frustration and isolation, wishing you had more control but not knowing how to regain it. So here's my warning to you: stay alert, ask questions. If you or someone you love are considering a nursing home, find out exactly how flexible they are with their daily routines. Don't be shy about inquiring whether you can choose your own waking hours or meal times. Make sure you understand the facility's policies on personal freedoms, because independence isn't just about being able to stand and walk. It's about the power to make decisions that reflect who you are as a person. My advice, as someone who has seen the heartbreak that loss of independence can cause, is to preserve your freedoms in whatever way you can. If you're researching different homes, list the things you absolutely refuse to give up: favorite hobbies, morning routines, meal preferences, and check if the facility accommodates them. It's your life, and you deserve a say in how you live it, right down to the little things. Before we move on, take a second to hit that like button if you find this insight helpful. Subscribe so you don't miss any important discussions about aging on this channel. Remember, the choices you make today could determine your tomorrow, and trust me, You don't want to wake up one day realizing you've sacrificed control over your life. Let's move on to the second danger, which is one that still haunts Agnes to this day. This second danger might not be obvious at first, but it certainly rears its head once the newness of a nursing home wears off. Emotional isolation. In some facilities, you're surrounded by people all day long, staff, fellow residents, and even visitors. Yet many seniors report feeling deep loneliness, almost as if they're invisible in a crowd. I recall Agnes telling me, "Martha, can you believe I'm in a room full of people? But I've never felt more alone." That sentence crushed me. She went in thinking she'd make all these new friends, but real connections were harder to forge than she expected. Why does this happen? Well, let's say the staff is busy juggling medication schedules, meal preparations, and housekeeping tasks. They might be polite and friendly, but they're not always able to sit down for a heartfelt chat. Fellow residents come from different backgrounds or might be dealing with health issues that make socializing tough. You might find yourself stuck among people you can't really talk to, or worse, you're the one feeling too tired, too anxious, or too overwhelmed to initiate conversation. Over time, that can breed a sense of abandonment and fear that you'll spend your remaining days without genuine companionship. The consequence of unchecked emotional isolation can be devastating. If you start feeling disconnected, you may withdraw further, avoiding communal activities and skipping opportunities that could bring joy. Depression can creep in, and with it comes a loss of motivation to do anything at all, like take part in crafts, watch a movie in the common room, or even enjoy a simple card game. It's a terrible cycle. The more isolated you feel, the less inclined you are to reach out, which in turn deepens that sense of loneliness. For seniors in particular, loneliness is more than just a mental burden. It can manifest in physical ways too, like loss of appetite, trouble sleeping, and a weakened immune system. I've noticed that American culture often values independence and personal space, sometimes at the cost of close-knit community. But as we age, many of us crave meaningful relationships more than ever. We want to be seen, heard, and understood. So let me ask you, is there anything more painful than realizing you're living out your golden years in a place where nobody truly gets you? If that resonates, do me a favor, comment the number 2 below. Let me know you hear me and you're aware of how critical emotional well-being is for seniors. My warning here is clear. A nursing home environment, despite having people everywhere, can still foster a profound sense of loneliness if it's not managed well. My advice is to investigate how these facilities handle social interactions. Is there a robust calendar of events that truly encourages conversation, not just superficial gathering? Do they encourage family visits outside of rigid visiting hours? How do they help people bond with each other? One powerful tactic is to plan your own social activities if you can. If you're technologically savvy, consider using video calls to stay in touch with loved ones. Don't be afraid to invite family or friends to participate in the home's activities with you if the facility permits. Those shared experiences might stave off loneliness and give you something to look forward to. As Mark Twain once said, the best way to cheer yourself up is to try to cheer somebody else up. If you happen to see another resident who seems even more isolated than you feel, offer a listening ear or a simple smile. You never know how much that small gesture can brighten someone's day, and possibly yours too. Alright, if you found any part of this section enlightening, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's tackle the third hidden danger, which is one of the scariest truths for many seniors. The third danger, and one that makes my heart ache every time I think about it, is subpar care due to underfunding or understaffing. Not every nursing home faces this issue, of course, but it's alarmingly common. Let me share a brief story. My neighbor, Hank, ended up in a nursing home where the staff-to-resident ratio was simply too low. He often told me, "I ring the call bell and it takes them 30 minutes to get here. By then, my needs have turned from urgent to desperate." At an age when your health can change overnight, you need prompt attention from caregivers who genuinely care and have the bandwidth to help. If the facility is understaffed, then medical supervision, personal hygiene assistance, and even simple tasks like changing bed linens can fall behind schedule. That might seem like a small inconvenience, but multiply these delays over weeks or months, and you're talking about a serious threat to a person's physical well-being. Imagine waiting too long for medication or missing important treatments because the staff is overwhelmed. If left unaddressed, poor caregiving can lead to injuries, infections, and an overall decline in health. There's a dreadful domino effect that happens when one thing goes wrong. For instance, if you can't get help walking to the bathroom in a timely manner, you might try to do it yourself. One wrong step could result in a fall, which may lead to a hospital stay, and that hospital stay can set you back physically and emotionally, exacerbating those feelings of fear and helplessness. Now, I'm not here to slam every nursing home in America. Plenty of them are well-run, well-funded, and staffed by compassionate people. But the hidden danger is that you might not realize a place is understaffed until it's too late. Facilities often showcase their best side during tours. Public areas are spotless, staff members are on their best behavior, and everything appears warm and welcoming. Only once you've settled in do you see the cracks in the facade. Suddenly you're dealing with rotating staff who don't know your medical history. You might be left waiting and waiting, which can create stress and frustration. Here's my advice based on both Agnes's and Hank's experiences. Don't judge a facility solely by its looks or marketing materials. If you can, visit during different times of day, especially evenings and weekends when staffing may be at its lowest. Ask how many caregivers are on duty per shift. Get a feel for whether the staff appears rushed or genuinely present. If you're in the process of choosing a nursing home for yourself or a loved one, consider asking pointed questions like, what's your average response time to a resident's call bell? Or, how many residents are typically assigned to one caregiver? Remember that you have a right to quality care and you deserve to ask tough questions. When these questions aren't answered with transparency, see it as a red flag. You'd be surprised how many seniors, including me back when I almost chose a facility, feel uncomfortable probing for details. But take it from someone who's been around for 77 years, staying silent about your needs can lead to big regrets. If you believe in the importance of thorough research before picking a nursing home, comment the number 4 below to let me know you're committed to being an informed consumer. And don't forget to share this video with friends who might need this info. It could save them from a world of heartbreak. We're moving on to the 4th hidden danger, which hits right in the heart when it comes to feeling valued in your later years. The 4th danger is financial strain or even exploitation. Let me be frank, many nursing homes in the United States are extraordinarily expensive. You might think, well, I've saved a bit of money or I have insurance, so maybe I'm covered. But the hidden danger lies in the unexpected fees and the constant upcharges that can drain your life savings. My late cousin John ended up spending far more than he ever anticipated because every service from simple laundry to specialized dietary options had its own separate fee. On top of that, there's also the unfortunate reality of financial exploitation. In some extreme cases, you could find manipulative staff members or even unscrupulous administrators who take advantage of residents, especially those experiencing cognitive decline. They might persuade a lonely senior to sign documents they don't fully understand, or they'll push families to pay for services that are either subpar or unnecessary. In a world where you expect empathy and fairness, encountering greed is like a punch to the gut. If this problem goes unchecked, it can devastate your finances and leave you feeling betrayed and helpless. Imagine having to sell your home or drain your retirement fund to afford continuous care. Then think about how that financial stress compounds every other negative feeling: fear that you'll become a burden to your family, disappointment that you can't leave behind an inheritance, or regret that you didn't plan better. It's a heavy emotional toll right when you're supposed to be enjoying your golden years. I want to emphasize that many reputable nursing homes are transparent about costs. They lay out a clear fee structure and they don't hide behind fine print. However, the hidden danger is that once you're already living in the facility, you're somewhat at their mercy. You might be reluctant to move again because of the emotional and physical toll of relocating. That's when they might spring additional charges on you, forcing you to figure out how to pay or endure fewer services. In any case, it's a dilemma no senior should ever have to face. Here's my heartfelt advice. Before you sign any contract, read every single page. If something feels unclear, ask questions until you get a straight answer. Better yet, have a trusted family member, friend, or even a lawyer review the documents. Check whether certain benefits or long-term care insurance will actually cover all or part of the costs, because once you're locked into an agreement, it can be really tough and expensive to break free. You also want to keep a close eye on financial statements. Once you've settled in, watch for any charges that don't look familiar or services you didn't actually use. If you notice something off, speak up immediately. Let the facility know that you're vigilant and will not tolerate any sneaky tactics. I wish I could say that the seniors in my life who went to nursing homes never faced these issues, but that wouldn't be the truth. While not every place is out to grab your money, it only takes one bad apple to ruin your peace of mind. That's why I encourage everyone, gather the facts, plan your budget meticulously, and keep an eye on monthly statements. If you've ever worried about draining your retirement fund or being taken advantage of, drop the number 6 in the comments. It's a simple way to acknowledge that financial concerns are just as crucial as healthcare needs in our later years. And by the way, if you're finding this video helpful, or at least eye-opening, do me a favor and subscribe. It's free, and it helps us reach more people who need these insights. Next up is the final hidden danger, one that I find particularly heartbreaking because it touches on the very essence of why we all want to feel loved, needed, and remembered. The 5th danger is the devastating feeling of being forgotten by loved ones. Nursing homes can sometimes make family members feel that everything is taken care of. They might assume you're well looked after because there's a staff, a cafeteria, a social calendar, and medical care on site. But here's the cold truth. Nobody can replace the bond you share with your family or close friends. When life gets busy for your children or siblings, their visits may dwindle to once a month, then once every few months, or even just on major holidays. My friend Agnes told me once, her eyes brimming with tears, "It's like they think I'm on some permanent vacation. They barely visit anymore." She wasn't blaming her family out of anger. It was more a sense of deep sadness, like she realized she'd become an afterthought in their routines. Some days that sense of abandonment was more painful than any physical ailment. In a society where independence is praised, living in a nursing home can make some people believe mom or dad is safe now, I don't need to worry as much. But emotional support, genuine companionship, and the warmth of a family's presence are irreplaceable. As this problem grows worse, the emotional toll can be crushing, the lonely nights become longer, and the days seem less hopeful. If you feel like you've been left behind, you might stop calling your family altogether, thinking, well, if they cared, they'd call me. That cycle of resentment and sorrow can spiral into depression. There's an old saying I heard when I was younger, attributed to George Bernard Shaw. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. When you feel forgotten, you stop enjoying life's little joys. You stop looking forward to tomorrow. That's when aging truly takes a toll on your spirit. But let me also offer a glimmer of hope. Some families do make the effort to maintain strong connections. They schedule regular visits, calls, or video chats. They invite their loved ones out for family gatherings, birthdays, or weekend dinners. The key is to communicate your needs and feelings openly. Instead of suffering in silence, consider reaching out. Let them know how vital their presence is to your well-being. Additionally, consider forging new bonds within the nursing home. Some residents form adopted families of friends or neighbors who support each other. And if you're physically able, participate in events that bring families together, such as holiday dinners or open house days. These events can become a chance to build or rebuild those bridges with the people who matter most. My advice is straightforward. Don't assume your family knows how you're feeling. They might genuinely believe you have everything you need. Ask them if they can set up a regular call schedule or visit you more frequently. Be honest but kind in expressing that No amount of facility staff can replace the comfort of a child's hug or a grandchild's laughter. If you're nodding your head right now, feeling that tug of fear about being forgotten, please take a second to like this video. Your support helps me and others share the message that seniors matter. Our voices and experiences matter. Now, let's bring all these hidden dangers together and discuss how we can turn this knowledge into hope and empowerment in our final thoughts. We've just explored 5 hidden dangers of nursing homes: loss of independence, emotional isolation, subpar care, financial strain, and the pain of feeling forgotten. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, trust me, you're not alone. After witnessing what my friend Agnes went through, I was torn between discouragement and a resolve to share what I'd learned with as many people as possible. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. Abraham Lincoln supposedly said, "It's the life in your years." That quote resonates so deeply right now because these pitfalls can sap the joy out of your golden years if you're not careful. Does that mean nursing homes are all bad? Certainly not. Many facilities offer excellent care, engaging social programs, and real community. The lesson here is to be proactive. Research thoroughly, ask tough questions, involve your family or close friends in the decision, and trust your gut if something feels off. This is your life, and you have more power than you think to shape how it unfolds. The real philosophical takeaway? Never relinquish your sense of choice. No matter where you live or how old you are, you deserve respect, autonomy, and emotional support. If your path does lead you to a nursing home, walk in with your eyes open, armed with knowledge about these hidden dangers. Be the person who speaks up, insists on meaningful connections, demands transparency, and keeps a close eye on finances. You might be surprised at how different your experience can be when you come from a place of awareness and self-advocacy. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. If you gained any valuable insight, please subscribe, share this video with your friends, and most importantly, keep asking questions. Your golden years are precious. Treat them that way, and don't let anyone or anything destroy them.